Bhagyashree ma'am, you can start now.
Okay, good morning all of you. So in our last lecture, we have completed this quadratic equation. Okay. In our last lecture, we have completed the quadratic equation. So all the basic things we are learning in that lesson is what we have to remember. So okay, always remember one thing: whatever we have learned in that lesson, please do at least that much, so that you will get good marks and the weaker student will pass it. Now next is the linear equation. Already you have completed all this linear equation, everything, but now we are simply going to revise it, means what are the important points are there that we are going to learn from this lesson. So please do that much at least, so that you can score very well, because we don't have much more time in now to just focus on the important points here. So linear equation in two variables. So what are the important points? The first and the most important point is the standard form. Like in the quadratic equation, we have seen that the standard form is the first important thing. Now, same is for the linear equation. So, can anyone tell me what is the standard form of linear equation? Yes, anyone? Can anyone tell me what is the standard
Ax
form of the
plus
linear
bx plus
equation?
c equals to 0.
Okay, very good. It is ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. Okay, we are seeing linear equation in two variables, right? Two variables is our standard form for it. Remember one thing. Since it is two variable, look here. This is x and y. We have taken the two variables. And next is ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. Why we are saying it linear? Because the highest power of these two variables, x and y, is simply 1. And linear means in a straight line, and that is a single 1 here. Therefore, if my highest power of x and y is 1, we say that given equation is a linear equation. So this is the linear equation. So just remember this thing. Again, this AB must not be equals to 0. This A comma B cannot be equals to 0. And ABC are any real numbers. Now the next important thing. Again, the solution for this solution that will the y, which will satisfy this given equation. We suppose I am having this equation 2x plus 3y plus 7 is equals to 0. So what we require? We require values of x and y, so that after solving this term, that is after solving this LHS will be equals to your RHS. That is, this LHS will be equals to 0. So that value of x and that value of y will be called as the solution. Same like in the quadratic equation. These are the solutions. Okay, so only here we call it solution. We don't call them as roots or zeros. Simply solution. And the next important thing. Now, next important thing is the simultaneous linear equation. Simultaneous linear equation. Now, what is this simultaneous linear equation? Now, simply, when the word comes simultaneous, so at that time, instead of one linear equation, we will require there two linear equations. So make it very clear. When we say about simultaneous, there will be two linear equations. For example, it is ax1, a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0. This is one linear equation. Again, I'm writing one more here. Suppose it is a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equals to 0. So how many linear equations we are having here? Two linear equations. So together these two are called as simultaneous. Okay? So this is the important thing. The standard form, the simultaneous, and the next, the methods of solving. Which methods? Whether we see the methods of solving linear equation? Definitely not. We will see the methods of solving simultaneous equations. Methods of solving simultaneous equations. Methods of solving simultaneous equations. How many methods are there? Does anyone remember this? All this is the revision part. So can anyone tell me what are the methods? Yes, anyone? Anyone? Okay. Okay. I will tell you here. So methods. The first method is simply, one is the elimination method and another one is the substitution method. So I'm adding them together. One is the substitution. We don't have to remember it by name. We can directly solve it. Substitution. Next is the elimination method. And the most important one, that is the determinant method, or that we also call as the Cramer's method or Cramer's rule is also. And this is very, very important. Not only up to your 10th standard, but for the higher classes also, this determinant, or which we say the Cramer's rule, that is also very important. Determinant method, or that is also called as the Cramer's method. Cramer's method, or we can say as Cramer's rule also, because Cramer was the mathematician who has founded, who has discovered this determinant method. So that is also called as the Cramer's rule. So these are the three important things here. Remember, standard form, what is mean by simultaneous equation, and next these are the few methods of solving the simultaneous equation. So this is very, very important. One more method is remembered, that is the graphical method. Yeah. Graphical method. Do this graphical method very, very well. Okay, students, do this very, very well, because this can be asked for 4 marks also. Okay, so do this method very properly. So these are the 4 methods of solving this one. Now let's see one by one. Before solving that, let's see few 1 mark questions which can be asked for the standard form. Just we are going to see few 1 mark question which can be asked based on the standard form. Idea? So suppose I'm taking one example here. Two x plus by plus 7 is equals to 0. Find values of ABC. It's very easy question. This can be asked. Find values of ABC. You can do this very well. No need to solve this. How we will do? Same as the quadratic equation. The first and the most important thing, just compare it with the standard form. Yes, compare the given equation with the standard form. So comparing. What is the given equation? This one. Comparing 2x plus 7y plus 7 is equals to 0. With whom we are comparing this? With the standard form. Whose standard form? Definitely with the standard form of linear equation. With standard form. The standard form of linear equation. The standard form of linear equation. What is that standard form? That is ax plus by plus c is equals to 0, right? So compare this with this. So after comparing, we'll get the values of a, b, c. Now again, same as we do in quadratic, same we are using here. Look here. Here, the coefficient of x is a. In given equation, coefficient of x is 2. That means the value of a is here. Very good. Next, here coefficient of y is b. Yes. And here coefficient of y is 7. So value of b is here 7. And finally, c is the constant term. So what is the constant here? That is equals to 7. So these are your values of a, b, and c. So this question can be asked simply for 1 mark. It can be asked in the MCQ or it can be asked in the question number 1B also. So this is the easy one. Now let's see the methods. One by one method we'll see here. We'll just see how are the methods. Then in the next lecture, we'll see the questions based 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks question. Now let's see the method. The first one. Okay. The graphical method we will see in the class. Now let's see. I'm having one example here. One more thing. Whatever examples are given in your textbook, whether it is solved examples or whether it is from your practice set, do all the examples, because most of the examples are already reduced. So whatever are remain, please do that, because from that only the questions can become. Very few questions will be there which will be out of this. So please do this very good, whether it is solved example or whether it is from the practice set. So I'm just taking one solved example here. From that, already two solved examples has been reduced from their syllabus. So only one is remain. So just do this very well, because this can only be asked. Again, I'm saying do all the questions which are given in your textbook. No need to do extra. Do extra questions also, but if you do at least this much also, you will get very good. Okay. Now, two equations are given. This was one linear, this is another linear. So these are nothing but the simultaneous equation. So what we have to do? We have to solve this simultaneous equation. Means we have to find the values of this x and y. Okay? We have to solve, means we have to find the value of x and y. Now look here, students. If you look properly, in both the equation, the 15 and 17, this coefficients are there, right? Here is 15 also, and here is also 17. But the thing is that this 15 and 17 change their positions. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry for interrupt.
Actually, yes, ma'am.
Have you shared your screen? Because I can't see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see it clear. Have you seen? Have you shared it?
Actually, board is there, ma'am.
Okay.
My video is on, means I'm doing it on the blackboard only.
Okay. Okay.
Are you not able to see it properly? Now it is visible?
That is not full screen. And you are not shared, I think. Have you shared that screen? Your screen?
Your video is visible.
Screen is now it is visible? Yeah, now it is clear. Right. Okay, now it is okay. Okay.
Okay, students. So, this is one of the linear equation which is from your textbook only, the solve example. So, do this properly. Now, look. If you look properly, the 15 and 17 are repeated here. But the thing is that the 15 and 17 have changed their position. Just a minute. The 15 and 17 has changed their position. Here, 15 is with the variable x, whereas in this equation, the 15 is with the variable y. So how to do this? In the first thing, what we do, we give the equations the numbers. So that is, these are your two equations. Your equation number 1. Then the next is your equation number 2. So we are having these two linear equations. So what we do, students, in one method, we make the coefficients of either x or y same, and then we simply add or subtract so that one of the variables will get cancelled. Means if it was a simple equation, what we do, here is 15, here is 17. If I have to cancel the 17, then x, if I have to cancel x, then I will multiply equation 1 by 17, because here is 17. Then here I multiply it by 15. So what do we do here? This is 1, but multiplying by 17 or multiplying by 15, this will go very lengthy. So at that time, when the coefficients are same, means the same coefficient, but with the different variables are given to us, that time we simply add and subtract these two equations. Okay, numbers are same. Look here, student, numbers are same. So simply firstly add equation 1 and equation number 2, right here. So I'm adding this 2. So it is 15x plus 17y is equals to 21. Nextly, 17x plus 15y is equals to 11. Just add these two equations. So what we get here? It is 32x plus 32y. And this is also equals to 30. Right here? 32x, 32y, 32. Now just simplify this x. So what we are doing, since 32 is common everywhere, we are dividing this by 32. So we get x plus y is equals to 1. Now this is your next equation, that is equation number 3. Why we have done this? Because the numbers were same. And in the next I am going to subtract equation 1 and equation 2. So this is now subtract this. Again, you know very well, if we are subtracting, then the signs of this will change. That is this plus, so it is minus, plus, minus, this is plus. So all will then get subtracted here. So what I get? 15 minus 70. Obviously, why I am saying this? Because most of the students do lots of mistake here. 15 minus 70. I mean, actually, we are subtracting from bigger only. Yeah? No need to do. So 17 minus 15 is 2. But 70 is having minus sign, so it is minus 2x. Again, it is 17 minus 15, 2. Bigger term is 70, so plus 2y. And this is 21 minus 11. So this is equals to plus 10. Here, what we have done? Now just simplify this one. We can divide it by 2. So minus x plus y is equals to 5. Now this is your next equation. So now we have got two simplified equations. Now solve these simplified equations with your regular method to get the values of x and y. I am repeating one more time, student. If you are having the same numbers, but if their variables are exchanged, then at that time simply add the two equations and subtract the two equations. Then you will get two simplified equations and then solve the two simplified equations. Clear? Now let's solve these two simplified equations. So look here, it is x plus y. It is minus x plus 1. If we add this 2, x will directly get cancelled. Right here? So I'm adding you. Add equation 4 and equation number 5 here. So we get here minus x plus y is equals to 5. So after adding x get cancelled, we get 2y is equals to 6. That is y is equals to 3. Right? This is a simple one. 2y is equals to 3. So this 2 divided by 6 is 3. So you get y is equals to 3. Now put this y is equals to 3 in either of the equations. So I am putting it equation number 3 now. So what I get here? X plus y is equals to 1. So this implies x plus 3 is equals to 1. So x is equals to 1 minus 3. That is x is equals to 2. So these are nothing but our required solutions for this given linear equation. Now clear this, whether it is needed to repeat. What do you do? Variables were same, so numbers were same, so we added and subtracted. Then we have got two simplified equations, and to this simplified I have added this 2 so that I get the value of y. Then whatever value we got, that we put in the another equation so that we get the value of the next one. So this is one of the easiest one. This question can be asked for at least 3 marks. So do this very well. Okay? Now we are going to solve same type of equation. One more example here. Same time. Means same numbers will be there, but their variables will be exchanging. So let's see one more examples. Okay, students. Now again, look here. 99x 1011. 101x 99 means this 99 and 101 are repeated. But the thing is that their variables are changing. So what we have to do? The same way. Firstly, add these two equations, then subtract these two equations. We'll get two simplified and then solve the their equation. Firstly, I'm giving this as equation number 1 and this is my equation number 2. So add this one. So let's add these two equations. So after doing this, we'll get one simplified equation. So it is 101 plus 99. So it is simply 200x. Same it is 200y. And this is equals to 501 plus 490. That is, this is equals to 1000. So we have got this one. Now again look here. 200, 200, 1000. Both are divisible by common number. That is, can be divisible by 200. So let's divide this by. I'm dividing it by 200. So I get x plus y. 1000 divided by 200 is not 500. It is 5 only. Okay? So this is equals to 5. So now let's give this as equation number 3. Look here. From this difficult equation, complicated, it just simplified to x plus y is equals to 5, which is very easy to solve. Again, nextly, subtract the two equations. Now subtract equation 1 and equation 2. So it is 99x let's subtract this one. So this is equals to 2x minus 2x minus 2x plus 2y, and this is equals to 501 minus 499. Again this is equals to minus 2. Look here, 2, 2, 2. Again this all equation can be divisible by 2. Let's divide. This is minus x plus y equals to minus. Now this is your next equation. So we have got two simplified equations, right? Now just solve this one to get the values of x and y. What to do? Here, x plus y minus x plus y. And here one value is negative. So simply add this to x will get directly cancelled. So add equation 3 and 4. Plus x minus x get cancelled. Plus y, it is 2y. And 5 minus 1 is 4. That is y is equals to 4 divided by 2 is 4 is. So we got y is equals to 2. Next, what we have to do? Put the value of y is equals to 2 in either of this equation, any one. So I am putting this in equation number 3. Put in equation 3. So it's x plus y is equals to 5. So it is x plus 2 is equals to 5. Implies x is equals to 5 minus 2. That is equals to 2. So we have got two values. That is, we have got the values of your variable. So it is very, very easy, student. Please do this types of question properly. Means you can. This is
मैम आपकी आवाज नहीं.
So if this case, you can solve this very easily. So what to do? given, add them if the variables are, if these coefficients are same, if only it is interchange. Add them, once add, then subtract. Two equations, you will get simplified equations, and then solve with your regular method to get the values of x and y. Okay, clear this? If anyone having any doubt up to this, you can ask. है किसी को कोई doubt यहाँ पे? In this type of questions, this is very easy, students. So do these types of question properly, because in maths 1 you will definitely pass and you can score very good marks for the total of maths. Okay, hope so. यहाँ तक no one having any difficulty. Now let's see the next one. Graphical method we'll see afterwards. Graphical method we'll see afterwards. Right now let's see the very important one, that is the determinant method. Yes, determinant. But before that, what is mean by determinant? Does anyone know what is mean by determinant? So, पता है determinant क्या है? These are the two sides. Actually, these are called as the modes. But
Miss, determinant में हम
these are the two modes here. If this, I'm writing few numbers. This is first row. Actually, these are the rows of student. This is row number 1. This is row number 2. This is column 1. This is column 2. And if I'm writing few numbers here, this is 2, 3, 1, 7. What I done? Here, this is row actually. In first row, I have written 2 numbers. In second row, I have written 2 numbers. That is, we are having 2 columns here. If something is written like this way, then this is called as determinant. Clear? And it is very easy. Just you must know how to solve. So how to solve this? Simply cross multiply. Cross multiply this 2 and cross multiply this 2. Okay? So first time, 2 sevens are 40, 3 ones are 3. And what about the sign? In the middle, you are giving simply minus sign. So simply your determinant is also 40 minus 3 is, this is equals to 11. So this is the simplest thing, that is the determinant. Very easy one. Just it is 2 by 2 determinant. Cross multiply them and minus next cross multiplication. Clear? Very easy. Just remember this determinant, because in determinant method, how to solve the determinant, that is the most important thing. I am taking one more here. What to do? 0 into 2. Right? Minus next 1 into 5. So this is equals to 0 2s are 0 minus 1 5s are 5. So your value of determinant is minus 5. So these are the simplest thing, that is the determinant which you can solve. Now let's see what are the next. Next is this is denoted by D. Okay. Next is dx. And one more is dy. So what is dx and what is dy? These are the most important. So for this, we are going to take 2 standard linear equations. Okay, suppose this is a1x plus b1y. This you must remember properly, student. Then and then only you can solve dx and dy. Very easy. Just you must remember this. Now we have taken 2 linear equations. So what to do? D. सबसे पहले D. How to write D here? Because directly you are not given D here. You have from the linear equations you have to write D, dx, and for writing D, forget about the constant terms. Just focus on the coefficients of x and y. Here, coefficient is whatever the coefficients of x and y are there. From the first equation, write that in the first row. The first equation, coefficient of x is a1. Here, coefficient of y is b1. So write that a1, b1 in the first row. In second, coefficients of x and y. That is a2, a2. Okay, so this is nothing but what we have done. We are cancel out 3 here. A1, B1, first row, A2, B2, second row. So this is your D. Now dx. Now since it is x, right? Since it is x is given, pay attention to x is given. So forget about the coefficients of x. What are the coefficients of x? This A1 and A2. Forget about it. Instead of this A1 and A2, we are going to write there the constants. That is this. From this B, this A1 and A2 will get cancelled. Instead of that, we are going to write here C1, C2. And next B1, B2 will remain. Like this very clear. Next for dy. dy is similar for dx. In dy, y is given. So instead of coefficient of y, we are going to write C1, C2. Where is coefficient of y? Here, B1, B2. So for that, we are substituting C1, C2 and rest will remain as. So this is the simplest thing. You must know very well. Anyone having any doubt up to this? किसी को यहाँ तक कोई doubt है? How to write dx and dy? Clear? Whatever linear equation is given to you, from that a1, b1, a2, b2 will make your d for writing dx. Instead of coefficients of x, we are going to write the constants there, and b1, b2 will remain. For dy, instead of coefficient of y, write the constant and rest will remain as it is. This is the important thing. And once we have got this, you can solve x formula. Just remember this formula, because in linear equation, this is only this formula is there, which you must remember. For x, dx by d, and for y, dy by d. Okay, just remember this formula. Now let's see one example which can be asked on this. Any example will take here. Suppose I am taking here. Now you take one example. So what to do? First we have to find the d. Can anyone say me what will be the d here? Instead of this mod, what should I write here? Can anyone raise your hand?
मिस 2
Yes, follow.
मिस पहले हम 2 और 5 लिखेंगे, फिर 3 और 2 लिखेंगे,
4, 5
और
यहाँ पे 2, 5 लिखेंगे. In the row
नो
or
मिस वहाँ पे
column?
2 और 3 मिस लेफ्ट साइड 2 आएगा और राइट साइड 3 आएगा,
Okay, means in the first row.
और नीचे
we are
5 और 2.
Very good. So it is here. What we have done? First variable. From the first equation, this 2 we are written in the first row. From the second equation, this 2 we are written in the second. Now let's solve this one. Now who will solve this
मिस
one?
2 2s are 4 मिस 2 2s are 4 और 5 3s are 15.
This is minus 3 into 5. So this is 4 minus 50. So we got this is equals to minus 3. Here. First you are done with d. Now dx. Now for
मिस dx x के प्लेस पे हम
your values of x.
मिस
Instead of
x के
x, put the constant there, right? X की जगह हमने यहाँ पे constant लेके and x will remain as it is. Now again solve this with your regular one, that is 7 into 2 minus 3 into 3. So it is 40 minus 9, which is equals to So this is next what we require. Now we require dy.
back, mark the difference.
Keep values of x as it is, and instead of y, put there the constant. So it is 2 for you, and this is 7. I can solve this. 2 3s are minus 7 5s are, so it is 6 minus 35, so which is equals to 29. That is minus 29. So dy is equals to minus 5. So we have got this is dy, this is dx. So what is the next method? Using Cramer's rule, we have to solve this. That is, we have to find the values of x and y here. So therefore, x is equals to dx by dy. Just remember this formula, dx by dy. So dx is 5, d is minus 11. So simply, this cannot be divisible. So your x is equals to 5 by minus 11. Now y? Dy by d. So that is equals to, what is dy? Minus 29, and d is minus 11. So minus minus get cancelled, and you get y is equals to 29 by 11. Okay. Anyone having any doubt in Cramer's method? It's very easy one. Yes, किसी कोई doubt है यहाँ तक? Obviously, the minus sign is the most important thing here. Okay, cross multiplication and then the minus sign. So this is the important one here. Should we solve one more example based on this Cramer's method? Now, again, remember one more. In Cramer's method, this can be asked in the activity-based question also and in the MCQs also. If MCQ is asked, what will be the question? You will simply give one determinant. Suppose it is 17, 8, 29, 0. A determinant is given. You have to simply find out the value of determinant. So this can be asked for 1 mark. That is in MCQ type. Again, if it is asked in the activity-based question, let's solve one activity-based question here. Suppose the activity-based question is asked for 2 marks. Now you know very well, if the activity-based question asks for 2 marks, then you have to fill the 4 blank spaces. For example, here, this is 2 marks question. Okay, one determinant is given: 5, 7, 0, 2. Look, this question is asked for simply 2 marks. It is very easy question. Actually, this is the question of 1 marks only. But since we are given 4 blank spaces, this question is converted for 2 marks. So what to do here? Simply solve this one. What will come here? We do the cross multiplication, right? So 5 multiplied by minus
2.
multiplied by 0. 0 is already given. So in the next blank space, we'll get 7 here. Then here, 5 to the 10, 7 0 the
10. 0.
Like this way, we have filled up this 4 boxes. We have got the 2 marks. Very easy. Algebra is the most easy one. So please do all these basic parts.
10 minus 0
Sorry, 10 minus 0. Okay. Any doubt here?
Miss 10 minus
I have taken here 10. 10 minus 0 is 10. Simply, we are going to solve one more example of this determinant method, of which is called as Cramer's rule. Let's solve one example. And if you look properly in your textbook, from the first one which we have taken, from that practice set 1.1, only 2 examples are there. Rest has been deleted. That is, rest has been reduced from your syllabus. Whereas in this, for the Cramer's rule, no question has been deleted. So you can get very well. That is how important this is. So do this very well. Each and every question from your practice set, solve it for your practice. So I am taking one example here. only whatever equations are given to us, they are very easy one. Means no difficult examples are given to us. Very easy type of equations are given to us, right? Like in the substitution or elimination figure, numbers were there, but here that is not the case. So what to do? Firstly, let's write down D. In D, in the first row, from the first equation, coefficients of x and y. Coefficient of x is here is 1, here is 2. The next equation, this that is 2 minus 3. So we have written D. Solve this one. So I'm solving it directly. 1 into minus 3 minus 2 into 2 minus, so it is minus 3 minus, so we got D is equals to minus. Here D is completed. Next is dx addition. You have to just remember this two things. Now instead of variable of x, we are going to write their constant. So minus 112, and the coefficients of y will remain as it is. So minus 1 minus 3, it's plus 3 minus 12 into 2 is 24. So 3 minus 24 is minus 24. So now this is your dx. Next is dy. So for dy, instead of coefficient of y, write there the constant one, that is minus 112, and x will remain as it is. 12 ones are minus 1 into 2 is minus 2. So this minus plus 12 plus 2. So we have got d, dx, and dy. And the rest is the easiest part. That is the formula. What is the formula for x? Dx upon dx is minus 21. D is minus 7. Minus 5 will cancel. So you get x is equals to 3. So x is complete. Now y? dy by d. So value of y dy is 14. Value of d is minus 7. 7 ones are 7 twos are. So we get y is equals to minus 2. So this is the most easiest one. And if we look properly, other than substitution or elimination, with the help of Cramer's method, we can solve the equations very easily. We can find the values of x and y quickly. So what to do if in the exam the questions came from this linear equations, means if you are not asked the method and only given solve the given simultaneous equation, if possible, please use the determinant method, because it can be solved very quickly. You can solve it in a few minutes. Whereas if you are going to solve by substitution or elimination, it will take some time. So please try to solve with the help of Cramer's method. So for Cramer's, just remember how to write d, dx, and dy. One more thing. If you are solving with this, you must be able to write this very perfectly, because if you make the mistakes here, you will get your full marks will cancel. And the next, this two formula, these are the important ones. So please go through it very well. If there are any doubts, you can answer this. कोई doubt है किसी को यहाँ तक?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Then I have completed.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Graph we will take in the next. Okay?
Okay, student, history lecture will start within 5 to 10 minutes. Keep your textbook with you. Taude ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Bhavya, ma'am. Hello, Bhavya, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Share your PPT on screen.
Hello, Miss.
Hello, ma'am. Can you start the lecture?
Yes, ma'am, I'll start.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, students. Welcome to Statewide Live Online Lectures. Today, we are going to start with history, chapter number 8. That is the revision for chapter tourism and history. In this chapter, students, we are going to cover the topics, subtopics regarding tourism in the past, then the types of tourism, okay, this then development of tourism, what are the necessary precautions to be taken for the conservation and preservation of historical places, then professional opportunities, okay, in the tourism and hospitality industry. Now let's begin the lesson, starting with tourism in the past. Okay, now tourism is not that has came into existence in this century. It is from the past itself. Okay, now this it's basically traveling. Okay, traveling to different places for specific purposes. So this tradition, students, of traveling is quite old in our country, India. People used to travel for various reasons. Okay, like for pilgrimage, for example, you can say a religious journey to Hajj, where traveling to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, then going to local fairs and festivals where the events have been arranged for fairs and festivals. Then the pilgrimage, you can say, for to Mathura or Vrindavan. in search of renowned, or you can say famous teacher, and good education, for trade, etc. So people used to travel for all these various reasons. So in brief, we can say from ancient times, people took to traveling for various reasons. Now, tourism. Okay, what is the definition of tourism? Tourism can be defined as traveling to visit places in distant regions for a specific purpose. Okay, as I told you, it's basically traveling to visit or to different places, or we visit different places with in distance, far away places, far away regions for a particular purpose or specific purpose. Now let us go back to the history of the where this tourism started. So it goes back to the history in the later of the 19th century CE, that is Common Era. The name of Thomas Cook. Okay, it's the name of a person. Okay, English businessman. Is as you can see his picture here. His name is Thomas Cook. He's a noteworthy in the context. Okay, in the situation of tourism history. Okay, he organized a trip. What he used to do, he used to organize a trip by railway from Leicester. Leicester is a city of England to Loughborough. It's again a town in England. So he used to organize trip by railway for about 600 people there. Then later he was successful in organizing a round trip. He initially started with organizing a trip by railway. Okay. Then what did he do? He was successful in organizing a round trip. Round trip means one flight to destination and another flight back to from that destination. Okay, onward flight and return flight, both. So he was successful for a round trip for Europe. Eventually, he established a travel agency. Okay, selling tourist tickets. So with the name of Thomas Cook. Okay, there's you might have heard this name of this travel agency as well. This early venture of Thomas Cook. It's an early venture. Venture means a new project. Okay, of Thomas Cook. They open doors for the development of modern tourism. Means they provide flight tickets, packages. They offer packages to different destinations, different procedures which is required to travel any international destination. They offer that services as well. So this tourism history goes back to Thomas Cook. Now, the Buddhist literature tells us that Gautam Buddha traveled to several cities in ancient India for preaching. Okay, so in our Buddhist literature, it has been said, it says that Gautam Buddha would travel to several cities, not one city, several cities in ancient India for preaching to give a talk on religious subjects. Now, Buddhist monks were ordained. Ordained means they were appointed, okay, as a religious leader, not to stay at one place. Okay, they were appointed not to stay at one place. Okay, but they had to keep traveling continuously to various places. Jain monks, sadhus also used to travel constantly. Constantly means continuously they used to travel. Then Yuanzhong, the Chinese monk, traveled to India in 630. Okay, there is a Chinese monk. His name is Yuanzhong. He's traveled to our country India in 630 Common Era. In the medieval period, okay, of our history, we have saints like Sant Namdev, Sant Eknath, Guru Nanak, Ramdas Swami. They travel extensively. They travel widely in our country. This traveling okay, this history of tourism goes back to the saints as well, who used to, or the monks or the sadhu used to travel continuously. Then we have this few other travelers in our past history. The first one we have here is Benjamin of Tudela. Tudela is a city in northern Spain. Okay, and he is known as the first European traveler or discoverer. He was born in Spain. Okay, you can see his picture on the left hand side. During the period of 1159 to 1173 CE, he traveled to France, Germany, Italy, Greece, Syria, Arabia, Egypt, Iraq, Persia, India, and China. So he was also a traveler. Okay, and he's the first European traveler. So he traveled in this particular period. He traveled to these many countries. Now, what he used to do, he used to maintain diaries. Okay, of where he used to travel. Okay, he used to keep a report or record of his travels. These are viewed as important historical documents. His diaries, which he used to maintain a record, it was considered as one of the important historical documents as a written source. Then we have Marco Polo on a right hand, the Italian traveler of the 13th century who introduced Asia, especially China, to Europe. He stayed in China for 17 years and he wrote about the flora and fauna, the plant and animal life, the social life, the society, culture, and the trade system, the import export of Asia. Then we have Ibn Battuta. He's again a traveler of 14th century who took the world on a virtual travel. Virtual travel is basically a simulation of existing location, usually composed of sequence of videos or still images of travel of Islamic world with his travel accounts. He was traveling for nearly 30 years, students. He had resolved means he had decided, okay, not to travel twice on the same route. So he used to travel to new places. His accounts are helpful in understanding the medieval history and the social life. So his account means what records or the diaries or accounts he had written. Okay, so as a historical source of history, it helps us to understand the medieval period about Mughal history and about their social life. Then we have Gerardus Mercator of 16th century was a cartographer. Cartographer means to make map, okay, or design maps. He's known for creating a world map and a globe of the earth. His work proved to be very useful for navigation. Navigation is to planning out a route or directing the travels of a boat, ship, car, person, etc. around the world. So these are the four name of the travelers in the past and who have serve as whose documents or the accounts they have maintained serve as historical sources of history. Then we have the tradition of traveling from corner to corner was prevalent in India from ancient times, as we discussed earlier. Now we have here Vishnu Bhat Godse. Okay, he wrote down the account of his journey. As I told you, account his report or description of his journey from Maharashtra to Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh and back to Maharashtra. So Vishnu Bhat Godse, he reported or he described his journey which he took from Maharashtra to Ayodhya and again from Ayodhya to Maharashtra. Now it is published. Now he has written, not only kept a record with him, but he has also published that in a book. You can see the cover page of the book as well in the picture here, students, entitled Maza Pravas. Okay, it's a Marathi about Marathi traveler. Now Vishnu Bhat traveled during times of Indian War
பாருங்களேன் அது யாருன்னு
of Independence.
அஜித்ன்றான் அஜித் விக்ரமன் கிட்ட திமுக பண்ணிட்டு கிடக்கான்.
Then mute your mic, please.
Hello, ma'am. Unmute yourself. Hello, Bhavya ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear me?
PPT not work, not
Yes,
visible.
yes, ma'am. I'll share it again. Okay, students, we continue. So, as I told you, Vishnu Bhat Godse, he published about his travel journey. Okay, in his book Maza Pravas, as you can see the cover page of the book here. Now, Vishnu Bhat traveled during the time of Indian War of Independence in 1857. So, this Indian War of Independence you might have studied in your previous history as well. It's the first war of independence because it was for the first time that our entire nation, okay, irrespective of any caste, creed, race, or religion, okay, had come together and staged an armed protest against the Britishers to gain independence from their colonial rule. So he was the eyewitness during this event, that historical event that happened, and he has written in his and published in his book as well. His accounts are full of detailed descriptions about the various incidences during this period, especially those about the life of Lakshmi Bai, the Queen of Jhansi. Okay, so in the previous lesson, what sports and history, there's a one part we schedule of Rani Lakshmi Bai. That was also given by Vishnu Bhat Godse, as we had discussed. So he has also written about this uh, life of Rani Lakshmi Bai, the Queen of Jhansi, during that period. He has written about that in his book. We also get to know the nature of Marathi language of the 18th century. This book is one of the important sources of history of that period. So this book also serves as a historical document, or we can say written source, okay, to know about the history of that period. Now we come to types of tourism. Okay, there are different types of tourism, and as I told, different people travel for different purpose around the world. These days, tourism has become an independent field of local, interstate, national, and international business. Okay, so tourism is a business which is an independent field which takes place in local, within interstate means within state, national, and international as well. So the desire, okay, the desire means the wish to visit the national and international monuments. Okay, national monuments you can say like Red Fort, Delhi. Okay, Sun Temple, Konark, Orissa, Amer Fort, Rajasthan. Okay, Charmira in Hyderabad, national monuments. And international monuments you can say like the Eiffel Tower, Great Wall of China. Okay, in Beijing. So the people wish to travel and to these historical national and international monuments, even places of historical importance. Okay, like this Hawa Mahal, okay, Fatehpur Sikri, okay, and places where there is natural beauty. Ancient centers known for handicrafts, like we have Tanjavur Doll in Tamil Nadu, Katputli in Rajasthan, okay, Khurja pottery in UP. Okay, people will have a desire to travel to these places, and pilgrim centers like you can say Badrinath, Vaishno Devi, um, then industrial centers as well, and sites of various developmental projects, etc. So all this promotes to tourism. It's basically the desire, the wish to travel to all these places of different people. It promotes tourism. Now, tourists from all over the world, they wish to visit natural and man-made sites. Okay, so all over the world, some people like to visit some natural, the places which have natural beauty, and some which are made by man. Okay, and they offer a delightful, very happy and admiring, inspiring experience, very admiring experience, you can say. Now, the places like snow-capped peaks, okay, as you can see in the picture on top, snow-capped peaks means covered with snow at top, and then beaches, And pristine jungles, pristine jungles, like you can see the jungles which are in the same state as it was first made and not changed, which were neglected previously, became important location of tourist interest. Mass media like newspaper, radio, magazine, internet, what they do, they began to make special audio visual presentation, means with on TV, or there are there are different channels which shows that particular features of different cities, what are they famous for, what are the famous sites, what are the food items famous for. Even in internet, when you browse, you get to know, okay, about so they have made different presentations through in the mass media. They highlight the places of tourist interest. Now, tourism can be broadly typified or classified, you can say, into local tourism, interstate tourism, interstate tourism, international tourism, religious tourism, historical tourism, health tourism, science tourism, which is visiting scientific landmarks including museums, laboratory, observatories, and universities, agrotourism, sports tourism, tourism based on special events, etc. So, students, these are the different types of tourism which are undertaken. Okay, so, and these are the different type of tourism where people visit to different places for different purpose related to this types of tourism. Now we will do all these types in details, starting from local and interstate tourism. Now, when you say local means within our local area, okay, or local city, or you can say interstate means within our own state. Okay, like we live in the state of Maharashtra, so like within our own state. So that type of tourism is also there. So this kind of tourism is not very overwhelming, not very great, because it is within one's own country. It does not cause difficulties of language because we know the language, okay, local language or the language within our country. Procuring means to obtain currency. Currency is the same, okay, as it's in our country only. And documents is also the normal documents, like the PAN card or other card is required when you travel. More so, we can plan it at a time suitable to us. So the first type of tourism, that is local and interstate. So that is within our country itself, and there is no problem in language or procuring currency or documents as well. And we can plan it as the time suitable for us. We do not need to plan it well before time or months. Then we have next is international tourism. Nowadays, it has become easier to travel because of easy availability of number of options of railway, marine, and air transport. Okay. Now, international tourism, from the word international only, you will understand traveling to different countries of the world. Okay. Now it has become easy to travel. Why? Because there is a lot of options available in terms of transport. When it comes to air transport, various flights are available. Okay. And then marine, it will travel through sea or ocean or ships or watercraft or railway. Now, marine transport has linked the coastal regions, okay, the land near the coast. There is a trans-European railway route. Trans-European railway route, it's located in Europe, okay, this railway route. And it is access to regional and local rail networks. Now, aviation means airline industry, okay. They has brought the entire world closer. Okay? There are different flights connecting to different countries of the world. Okay, so they brought the entire world closer. Economic goal of making more money, expanding the
नहीं आपा पूरी फुल्की मैं इसको बोली ना, वो भी मैंने इसको बोली तो ये दुकान से, तो वो बोले उनको पूछ के बताता था फुल गाड़ी है बोले वो।
The Indian
गाड़ी यही बोलते जा रहे हैं। इसकी वजह से
Mike,
ये हो गया है।
because of the economic liberalization policy which has been started by Indian government, okay, that is making economy more market service oriented and expanding in foreign as well as private investment. The number of people traveling back and forth, okay, coming and going from India has increased considerably. They include, so people travel for various reasons all over the world. They travel for studies, they travel for relaxation, they travel for different sightseeing, different famous places, and professional assignments like meetings, agreements, etc. Even for shooting of films, etc. One needs to procurements to obtain or keep necessary documents, various official documents, you can say, like passport, visa, for traveling abroad. Okay, if you want to travel to any international destination, okay, you need to have valid official documents with you. So this was about international tourism. That's one type of tourism. Then next we have historical tourism. Now this type of tourism is popular all over the world. Tours to historical places. Now historical, the word tourism, the word only, it says it's related to history or historical places. So tours to historical places are arranged to satisfy people's interest in history. Now many people have they have very like curiosity, very eagerness to know about the history of various places. Okay, so these tours are particularly arranged for them. It can be noted in this context, in this situation, that Gopal Neelkanta Dandekar, as you can see in the picture on the top here, now he's a renowned, famous Marathi writer. He used to arrange hiking tours. Hiking means to walk a long distance, especially for pleasure. Okay, tours to forts in Maharashtra. Okay, to explore the sites closely linked to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, so he's used to arrange hiking tours for the people to explore and keep the memories alive and to know about the Maratha history or the history of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the forts built by him like Torna, Sinhagad, Raigad, Shivneri, Pratapgarh, and his achievements as well. Tours are also arranged to important historical sites in India, okay, like the forts in Rajasthan, like Junagadh Fort, Chittagong, okay, Jaigarh. So tours are also arranged to these historical sites and to where the people who want to know the importance of that fort or the history about that fort. Okay, the ashrams of Mahatma Gandhi ji, like Sabarmati Ashram, Gandhi Sevagram Ashram, and Acharya Vinoba Bhave. Important places related to Indian War of Independence in 1857, etc. Okay, important where places related to this historical event. Okay, related to like Delhi, Agra, Kanpur, where this historical event had happened. So this historical tourism is especially arranged for those people who have the curiosity to know about the history of various forts or ashrams, okay, and about the various historical monuments or the history about the who built it, why built it, what is the history. Okay, so next we have another type of tourism, that is religious tourism. Now, people of various religious communities are dispersed globally. Okay, people from different religion. Okay, it's not. They are not in one settled in one place. As we know, they have been scattered worldwide. Okay, of various religious community. However, they feel united because of their mythological traditions. Mythological traditions, basically the tradition from the past time, especially about some gods and goddesses and the war of courage. So, because of this mythological tradition, even though we are all scattered worldwide, but we are connected. We feel united because of this tradition and places associated with this tradition, with those traditions. This creates a desire to travel to those places. and it gives rise to religious tourism. Okay, so this desire, this wish to travel to these places of those tradition or the religious place. Okay, so when we wish to travel to those places related to our culture, religion, okay, or, to know about it. So what does it give rise to? Religious tourism. In this context, the constructions undertaken by Ahalyabai Holkar, okay, who was a hereditary noble Sardar of Maratha Empire, she spent her she used to spend her from her personal funds. Okay, it's very noteworthy. So what she used to spend used to provide good amenities. Amenities means facilities on the pilgrim routes. Okay, where the yatras used to happen. Okay, pilgrim routes. The people used to visit this pilgrim places of like Chardham Yatras to get so that the people get good amenities. She used to spend from her own personal funds. Okay, and Bara Jyotirlingas. Okay, uh, so so her contribution in this context is very important to know. The next type of tourism is geographic tourism. Okay, it's related from the term geographic only, you will understand it's related to the natural features or the physical features of a country. This type of tourism involves various visiting places to observe special geographic features of a region. It includes various natural and animal sanctuaries, places like Valley of Flowers, okay, which is very beautiful in Uttarakhand, various beaches, okay, unique geographical wonders like Crater Lake at Lonar and Ranjan Khalge. You can see in the picture here. It's a naturally carved cavities in rocks at Nikhoj in Maharashtra. Okay, so we geographical tourism is basically when people want to visit the places, then they want to feel the see the natural feel or see the natural beauty of or the geographic features of particular region. Okay, many tourists like to visit these places to satisfy their curiosity. Then the next we have is health tourism. People from various Western countries find the health services and facilities in India comparatively cheaper and yet of good standard. Now, health tourism is basically people travel in countries to for their health, for the treatment of their particular diseases or for to get some therapies. Okay, so when it comes to people from Western countries, students like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, UK, they find facilities or the health services in India comparatively cheaper and of good quality. Hence, many foreigners they prefer to come to India to avail medical facilities and health services. Now, India is a tropical country, means India has a tropical climate, warm. It's basically warm all year long and where ample sunlight, okay, which is important for our bones, blood cells, and immune system, is available in our country throughout the year. So what happens because of that? This attracts tourists from countries which with cold climate to India. So the tourists from the countries like Russia, where it is very cold, Canada, US, Sweden, so they come to our country for this. So that because we have ample of sunlight and we have tropical climate. Another reason is availability of facilities for yoga training, okay, which we have, and therapies based on Ayurveda is one more reason to want to visit India. So, so coming to health tourism, so these are the reasons for various health services, medical facilities, the tropical climate, okay, and there is lot of where in the countries which have cold climate they visit India, and even the yoga training, okay, the yoga therapy or various training or the various which is training is given to cure various diseases, therapies which is undertaken by Ayurveda. That is also the reason the people from different countries of the world or the tourists they come and visit to our country, India. Then we have agro-tourism. Okay, agro is again basically related to agriculture. Agro-tourism, which is also known as agri-tourism, is rapidly developing especially meant for urban population like urban cities, which has very little exposure to rural life and agriculture. As we know, we live in metro cities where we have very little exposure to rural life and the activities related to agriculture. So agrotourism is basically for urban population. Now, Indian farmers are also visiting faraway places, okay, like agricultural research centers where the training, various training and various modern method or modern method of agriculture, how to use modern method of agriculture, how to increase the production of crops, food grains. The training is given to farmers. There are agricultural universities as well. Visit to agricultural universities where one can do BSc in agriculture, genetic plant breeding, animal husbandry, forestry. And countries like Israel, visit to countries like Israel is also undertaken where experimentation in advanced technology of agriculture is carried out. So this is the reason for agrotourism. Then we have sports tourism. Again, sports tourism, the word related to sports or the tourism related to sports. Now, sports tourism was developed in 20th century. There are various sports events organized on international level. Okay, what are those events, students? Like Olympics, it's a leading international sport event featuring summer and winter competition in which thousands of athletes participate from around the world. Then we have Wimbledon, Wimbledon's oldest tennis tournament in the world. Then World Chess Championship and international cricket tournaments, etc. Okay, so etc. These are the various sports events which are organized at international level, and people do visit because we have fans catered related to sports all over the world. People do visit to watch this. While there are events like Himalayan Car Rally on national level, which is motorsport. Events like Maharashtra Kesari wrestling competition, as you can see in the picture here, which are organized at state level. People, the tourists or the people do visit or travel this event is arranged to watch it, enjoy it. Traveling to attend such events comes under sports tourism. Then we have tourism based on special events. Now people want to travel and they are often on the lookout for special reason to do it. People they like to travel, okay, so they look for reason, okay, for what reason to travel. So in the 21st century, it has become common to organize such events, which also help to promote tourism. Film festivals like Cannes Film Festival, Venice Film Festival, Berlin International Film Festival, various types of seminars, conferences with official meetings, international book exhibitions, etc. are example of such special events. So people travel to attend the such special events as well. People keep visiting several places to attend such special events. Many literature enthusiasts means many people are follower of literature. Okay, in Maharashtra, they travel every year to attend Akhil Bharatiya Marathi Sahitya Sammelan. Okay, it's an annual conference for literary discussion of by Marathi writer. That's Pan India Marathi Literary Convention. So so today, students, we have covered this parts of different types of tourism as well as the different travelers of our past. What do we mean by the term tourism? Okay, and what it dates back to, which person, and to how was the tourism, and this trend of tourism or the tourist is tourism is from the past. Now we'll look on to the few questions from the lesson. Now here we have the first question, that is choose the correct option and rewrite the complete answers. Now here the first question is, Thomas Cook established a travel agency selling dash. You have the options here, 4 options, that is handicrafts, toys, food items, tourist tickets. So here the correct answer is tourist tickets. From ancient times, people took dash in traveling. Okay, four options again: displeased, discomfort, pleasure, or displeasure. Correct answer is pleasure. Now then, Dash wrote down the accounts of his journey from Maharashtra to Ayodhya and back to Maharashtra. The first option is Thomas Cook, then Vishnubat Godse, Gopal Neelkanta Dandekar, Ahalyabai Holkar. So the correct answer, as we have discussed, is, as I have explained you all, that is Vishnubat Godse. Dash wrote about the flora and fauna, social life, culture, and the trade system of Asia. Okay. Now here the correct answer from the options given is Marco Polo, Ibn Battuta, Thomas Cook, Gerardus Mercator. Okay. So here the correct answer for the question is Marco Polo. Then we have Dash traveler who created world map and globe of the earth. You have again options here, that is Vishnubat Godse, Ibn Battuta, Marco Polo, or Gerardus Mercator. Okay, the correct answer is D. Gerardus Mercator traveler was a traveler who created world map and globe of the earth. Then the sixth one, that is Dash organized a trip by railway from Leicester to Loughborough for about 600 people. Okay, in Europe. The options are Ibn Battuta, Vishnubat Godse, Thomas Cook, or Marco Polo. The correct answer is Thomas Cook. Dash monks were ordained not to stay at one place but keep traveling continuously to various places. Options is A. Zoroastrian, B. Manichaean, Buddhist, Sufi. The correct answer is Buddhist monks. Then we have eighth one. Thomas Cook organized a trip by railway from Dash to Dash for about 600 people. Okay, so we have an option here: Lancashire to Yorkshire, Leeds to Manchester, London to Birmingham, Leicester to Loughborough. Correct answer is Leicester to Loughborough in Europe. Then Vishnubat traveled during the times of Dash. Indian independence 1947, partition of Bengal 1905, Indian War of Independence 1857, and then Sayukta Maharashtra Andolan. So the correct answer is Indian War of Independence 1857. Then Benjamin of Dash is known as the first European traveler. So correct answer, the options given are Toronto, Timbuktu, Tudela, SEC. The correct answer is Tudela. Then you have identify the wrong pair in the following, correct it and rewrite. The first one is Benjamin Tudela, the European traveler, Marco Polo, India, Battuta, Islamic world, Gerardus Mercator, cartographer. The correct answer is the incorrect pair you have to find first, that is Marco Polo, India. The correct answer is Marco Polo, China. Then we have rock cut caves, Elephanta, Khas Plateau, Western Ghats, Jantar Mantar in Jaipur, Crater Lake, Nikoj. So the incorrect pair is Crater Lake, Nikoj. The correct answer is Crater Lake, Lunar. Then Benjamin of Tudela diaries, historical documents, Gopal Neelkanta Dandekar, Maza Pravas, Ibn Battuta, accounts on medieval history, Gerardus Mercator, world map. Incorrect pair student is Gopal Neelkanta Dandekar, Maza Pravas. The correct answer is Gopal Neelkanta Dandekar used to organize hiking tours. Then you have the concept chart. Okay, the types of tourism. Okay, there are more types, but you can mention like historical, health, geographical, agro. Then you have complete the timeline. The Chinese monk traveled in 630 CE. Then in 1159 to 1173, it was Benjamin Tudela. Then Marco Polo in 13th century. 14th century, it was Ibn Battuta. And Gerardus Mercator in 16th century. Then we have write short notes. Okay, you can get short notes on tradition of traveling. So as we have explained and discussed, that tradition of traveling is quite old in India. You need to write your answers in points. People used to travel for various reasons like pilgrimage, going to local fairs and festivals in search of renowned and good education, traveling for trade, etc. In third point, in brief, from ancient times, people took pleasure in traveling. Buddhist monks were ordained not to stay at one place but keep traveling continuously to various places. Then fifth point, Jain monks, sadhus also were on move constantly. Then the Chinese monk Yuanshang traveled to India in 630 CE. Then in the medieval period, Saint Namdev, Saint Eknath, Guru Nanak, Ramdas Swami, they moved from one place to another or traveled from one place to another. Benjamin of Tudela, Marco Polo, Ibn Battuta, Gerardus Mercator, they navigated around the world. You have to cover all these 8 points under this short notes. The next short note is about Marco Polo. Marco the Polo, the Indian traveler of the 13th century, introduced Asia, especially China, to Europe. His second point is he stayed in China for 17 years. Third point, he wrote about the flora and fauna, social life, culture, and trade systems of Asia. Then you have a short note on agrotourism. Here the point is the first point, the agrotourism, which is also known as agri-tourism, is rapidly developing, especially meant for urban population, which has very little exposure to rural life and agriculture. Second point, now Indian farmers are also visiting faraway places like agricultural research center, agricultural universities, countries like Israel, where experimentation in advanced technology of agriculture is undertaken. Then you have next short note is on Benjamin of Tudela. Now, as we know, Benjamin of Tudela is known as the first European traveler or discoverer. He was born in Spain. During the period from 1159 to 1173 CE, he traveled to France, Germany, Italy, Greece, Syria, Arabia, Egypt, Iraq, Persia, India, and China. Fourth point is he maintained the diaries of the accounts of his travels. Fifth point is his diaries are viewed as the most important historical documents. Then we have short note on Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta is the traveler of 14th century who took the world on a virtual travel of the Islamic world with his travel accounts. Second point is he was traveling for 30 years. Third point, he had resolved not to travel twice on the same route. Fourth point, his accounts are helpful in understanding the medieval history and social life. Then we have next short note on Gerardus Mercator. First point here is Gerardus Mercator of the 16th century was a cartographer. He is known for creating a world map and globe of the earth. His work proved to be very useful for navigation around the world. Then we have next short note on Thomas Cook. So it is first question in the later of first point. In the later half of the 19th century CE, the name of Thomas Cook is noteworthy in the context of tourism history. Second point, he organized a trip by railway from Leicester to Loughborough for about 600 people. He was successful in organizing a round trip of Europe. Then eventually he established a travel agency selling tourist tickets. And the fifth point, this early venture of Thomas Cook opened doors for development of modern tourism. So these are the necessary points you have to cover in these short notes. Then you have short note on tourism based on special event. In the 21st century, it has become common to organize such events which also help to promote tourism. Second point is film festival, various types of seminars and conferences, international book exhibitions, etc. are examples of such special events. Third point, people keep visiting several places to attend such special events. Fourth point is money literature enthusiasts in Maharashtra travel every year to attend Akhil Bharatiya Marathi Sahitya Sammelan, that is Pan-Indian Marathi Literary Convention. Then you have explained the following statements with reasons, like give reasons. The number of people traveling back and forth from India has increased considerably. So this also you need to write in points. The first point will be nowadays it has become easier to travel because of the easy availability of number of options of railway, marine and air transport. Marine transport has linked the coastal regions. Third point, there is a trans-European railway route. Fourth point, aviation has brought the entire world closer. Fifth point, because of economic liberation policy of Indian government, the number of people traveling back and forth from India has increased considerably. Fourth point, they include people for traveling, for studies, relaxation, sightseeing, professional assignments, meeting and agreements, etc. Also for shooting of films, etc. These are the three reasons why number of people traveling to and from India has increased considerably. Then you have answer the following in brief or answer the following in detail. What are the crucial issues in the development of tourism? The crucial issue in the development of tourism is providing proper guidance to national and international tourists about various aspects of the actual travel, proper social conduct during the tour and during the stay at the destination places. First point. Second point is giving priority to ensure safe transport and security facilities for tourists, amenities of asset, reasonably good standard, availability of good accommodation, good washroom facilities, and the travel routes is of great significance in promoting tourism. It is very important to pay special attention to the special needs of handicapped tourists. It is important to take primary precaution in order to preserve the historical heritage site, example vandalizing or defacing the heritage monument and sites. Fifth point is in order to avoid it, everybody should refrain from writing on walls or carving on trees, paint ancient monuments in garnish color, garish colors, lack of good amenities, and presence of the heritage sites, etc. The next question we have is, in what way tourism has become a major source of livelihood? Tourism becomes a major source of livelihood in various ways, like we have Mahabaleshwar and Panchgani as hill station with thousands of tourists visiting. These tourists are accompanied by guides who provide relevant information on sightseeing and tours. At some places, photographers are present to click nice snaps for the tourists. Housekeepers provide horse rides or horse cart rides. All the above activities and services given by local people, and in return, they earn good money. My next question is open-ended questions. You can give your opinion as well in this. What would you do to develop the surrounding of your village or town to help the growth of tourism? Viewpoints like safe transport for the tourist, security facilities for the tourist, cleanliness and hygiene part, good washroom facilities. So here we have completed half part of the chapter today. Tomorrow we will continue the rest part of the chapter and the questions for the chapters as itself. Ma'am? Ma'am?